This is the Global Podcast Network, where executives and professionals connect, share, and inspire. Stay tuned for the conversations that drive success.
Jeremy Dixon joining us live, our personal trainer and nutrition coach for Jeremy Dixon Fitness. Hello, good afternoon. How are you today?
Jill, I'm doing fantastic. How have you been?
I'm doing amazing. So I should say good morning, good evening, depending on where you are in the world listening and watching us. Jeremy, excited to have you here. Amazing background. We're going to get to talk a little bit about you, your services, and of course, how you're helping as a nutrition coach and personal trainer to so many people. First and foremost, let me just ask, where are you based out of?
Yeah, I'm out in Harrisburg, Oregon, right in the middle between Eugene and Corvallis. And nobody really knows where Harrisburg is. So I am on the Pacific Coast, but everything I do is virtual. So my location really doesn't matter. I can help anyone, anywhere.
That is amazing. That's right. Remote services. Exciting to find out more about this and, of course, the people that you're helping. So all or most of your services are provided virtually, correct? And people
Yeah,
could do this, you said, with a gym membership at home or in conjunction even with a group fitness class like Burn or Orange Theory. So everything here is catered to what the client has or has access to without ever telling someone that they need to buy anything, which is pretty amazing concept. Let's share this concept with us. And I
yeah,
want to know how you came up with this. And then we're going to get to your background and I want to hear about, your growing
yeah.
up and how, you got into this fitness and nutrition field.
Sounds good. Yeah. So the idea behind really everything that Jeremy Dixon Fitness or JDF really is trying to make anything fitness related, whether it's working out or the dieting aspect of it. And I don't even really like using the term dieting because it is truly supposed to be something that's sustainable for anybody. So if you have a gym membership, great, let's keep using that. If all you have is a pair of dumbbells at home, we can cater to that. If you have nothing at all and you have no intention of ever going into a gym, that's okay. A lot of what I can do can focus on body weight movements. And there's a lot of stuff you can just use around the house for any sort of exercise that people might not think about. As far as really how it works virtually, what's great is I'm currently working with somebody out in Michigan. I'm working with somebody up a couple hours north, still in Oregon, but not exactly my backyard either. And I use a singular app that does all of our communication. Somebody can reach me via text or voice message through this app at any time. All of my workout programming is done through there. If I have certain goals or metrics I want people to meet, they can do that. It also allows for weight tracking or other body stats. If you're just looking for muscle gain, you can actually put in your measurements and see those grow over time. It's really all encompassing. And because it's digital, it doesn't matter what time zone you're in. As long as you and I have a common language, then I think we can go ahead and move forward.
And you don't mind being up at all hours of the night. That's how dedicated you are to fitness and helping your clients fulfill their goals. And we're going to talk about
That's right.
this accessibility factor. And I know you're working with people of all ages. First,
Mhm.
let me get to know you. Where did you grow up? And would you mind sharing a little bit about your parents? I know they were very monumental and your success, of course, in
Yeah.
growing up. Thank you.
Yeah, absolutely. So I grew up kind of out here. It was all Portland metro area, down in the Gresham, Sandy area, really primarily. But Oregon has almost always been my home to one extent or another. As far as my parents being really, like you said, monumental is, I think, the right word in shaping how I work. They really didn't push me towards the fitness industry in any way. No, indirectly, I guess they kind of did. I grew up a bigger person. Everybody in my family was definitely a bigger person. And nutrition was never really a topic of conversation. Taking care of ourselves was really never a topic of conversation. If you woke up in the morning and you could put air in your lungs, then it was good enough. So we all struggled a bit, and it caused a poor relationship with food, which spiraled. I think we can, at some point or another in our lives, we can all relate to that. But even so, they really instilled the importance of being able to provide for those around you. Right now, I've got a wife and two wonderful kids that, for better or for worse, are smarter than they should be. It keeps things interesting and very fun, but it keeps us on our toes. And so, with the drive to support people around me, I knew I needed a career. I didn't want the back and forth of, a job that lasts a year and then this one is 6 months, and I've done a little bit of everything. And in my younger days, I did do a little bit of everything. But I really wanted to make sure that I had something as steady as it gets. Anymore, nothing is certain, but I wanted to know that I was going to be in a spot to take care of the people around me. With that, I didn't really start looking into the fitness world for work until maybe about 4 years ago. And it's because it took such a long time to really find passion in not just my own fitness, but helping other people with theirs. I truly think I get more excited when my clients reach milestones than they do. Just because I love seeing the progress and the confidence that comes with it that people don't normally walk in with.
Well, it's amazing. And I love your enthusiasm. Clearly, it's emanating here as we speak. You have great energy, great education and background as well, which I think is important to find out that you are certified, right? Could you share a little bit
Yes.
about your training and how that came about?
Yeah, so I am a NASM, or National Academy of Sports Medicine certified personal trainer. I am currently working on an additional certification that specializes a little bit more in nutrition coaching. It's more of the logistics back end of it. The nutrition piece is something I already had through other trainings. Um, but it'd be nice to have. Just the extra insight has always been good. As far as kind of what brought me to this point, again, growing up, always bigger, never really wanted to exercise. Exercise was a punishment and food was a reward. And so it was that kind of really backwards mindset that kept me away for so long. Uh, but eventually, and it took a long time, I fell into a workout routine that really worked for me. I ended up reaching out to other people that helped really put the nutrition piece into perspective for the first time. And as I saw my results, even working out at Orange Theory, I was there for a couple of years. I developed a really good relationship with the coaches I had there. And when they saw my improvements, leading me to push other people a little bit harder. Yeah, mostly the people I was super comfortable with there, but I wouldn't say aggressive. I would say borderline pushy. If I knew you could do more, I wanted to see you do more, and I wanted to draw that out of people, which led to my coaches telling me, look, I think you should do this for real. Have you thought about it? And I didn't for the longest time. And then the idea just kind of stuck with me, and it ate away at me to be thinking about it and not doing anything. But at the time, I was working full time. I still do. I was raising one child and expecting another. At the time, I was finishing my degree.
Oh, wow.
Uh, it's all been super busy, and this was a lot of this happened during the course of COVID. And so my job at the time had me working usually 12 plus hours a day. There was constantly changing regulations and rules we had to
Hmm.
follow. Everything in the world was working against my schedule at the moment.
Uh-huh.
But then, like I said, I couldn't stop thinking about it. So I enrolled in the classes, I got the certification, and felt the need to do something with it, which eventually the goal was to work at Orange Theory because they kind of reignited anything fitness related for me. Long story short, that didn't work out. And I got to work with the city of Eugene to create a couple of programs that were more accessible to the general community. And then I got to work at a boutique gym at 45 up until this last December. That studio's doors closed, which kind of led me to do what I'm doing now and venture off on my own. I go a lot deeper into the story in a several part Instagram post through Instagram/Jeremy Dixon Fitness, all one word. I hope everybody gets a chance to check that out, even if that's the extent of our relationship. If you at least get to read about what kind of opened my eyes to my own needs and how that translates into me pulling the best out of other people and finding their favorite versions of themselves, I think that could at least be minorly inspiring, even if it doesn't lead to a full conversation between us.
Wow. Thank you so much for sharing this. And I do love, we've all had obstacles in our lives, ups and downs. And you being in the health and fitness field, were you always in shape? Could you share your story?
Always in shape would be possibly the furthest from the reality as possible.
Mm,
Um, it was like I said, growing up,
yeah.
bigger kid. Even aside from just size, it wasn't that I was the tallest kid in the class or the muscliest.
I get it.
It was a bad relationship with food and a worse relationship with exercise, and that was just the lifestyle. Um, Even now, I feel like I'm always going to be on my own journey. I don't think there's ever a true stopping point. Even if you have a specific weight goal in mind,
Yep.
when you get there, there's still so much more to do, whether it's toning something, gaining muscle, even just maintaining where you're at exactly can be a little more involved mentally than people think. Uh, so getting to where I'm at now has been a very big conversation starter for people. It has been really what has lit my fire to get it out of other people, because I have had, better self image. Obviously, is there. I've had a lot more confidence in everything that I do. I in general feel better and feel better about myself. The mental health aspect that ties in is something else entirely. um, but I think the fitness industry as a whole has a lot of roadblocks for people that want to either coach or be involved in bringing information to people, or even if you're just starting working out yourself,
Yeah.
there's so much stigma around not being in shape. Or if you are in shape, it has to be a certain shape. Everything has to be just perfect, or you're made to feel like you don't belong, whether it's in the gym or on the social media sites. And really, your value shouldn't be tied to your
Mm-hmm.
body fat percentage or how much you can bench. And if you have the knowledge and the drive to help somebody, I would personally rather hire a trainer that might be technically listed as obese, but has the compassion, the time to work with me, the knowledge, than the guy who was born with superior genetics and maybe
Who's
he's
got
always
great
been
abs
cut.
all the time. He eats potato chips, doesn't tell you, but just yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Exactly.
You've walked the walk, you talk the talk, you've lived it, you own it, you are it, and you really can empathize and help your clients understand the importance of nutrition and weight loss and eating healthy and working out. So I commend you on that, and I love your honesty because none of us are perfect. We all have something. We all go through the similar struggles in life, and you're going through with your clients the very same thing you did, which makes you, it's really empathetic, is what it is. And it's just something, a beauty of the side that you have because you're really relating to your clients this way. So you've been there, you've
Yeah.
done it, and you really know what it's like to walk in their shoes and
Oh,
um,
absolutely.
in their sneakers, I should say, right? Wow.
Well, and there are definitely aspects that I do my best to really feel and move forward with in the most relatable way possible. Obviously, I've lived a different life, have a different background. My experiences don't always line up. My first client was a full time paralegal, mother of two, still breastfeeding one. A lot of experiences that I don't have. I cannot tell you what life looks like that.
Oh,
But I love gaining the
yeah.
experience of working with people of different backgrounds. I've learned a lot in working through her. It better prepares me for the next breastfeeding mother that feels like she doesn't have time, or even just adapting to a whole new situation. I've learned to learn the experiences.
Beautiful, beautiful. Well, I'm so glad we're here talking today, getting to know more about you and your services. Again, these are virtual services, and Jeremy Dixon here joining us. He's our personal trainer, nutrition coach. It's Jeremy Dixon Fitness. That's JDF. And now, being this is our first show together, this is really exciting. We're going to talk more about flexibility of schedule. Again, working with people of all ages, and let's continue the talk. More about you, more
Yeah.
about the help you can offer.
Absolutely. Starting off with the virtual aspect of it,
Yes.
and really that's what ties into the scheduling so well. Like I said, I've got a client out in Michigan while I'm out here in Oregon, so there is that 3 hour time difference. and we're still able to work together. We communicate really well. My waking hours are kind of strange anyway. I tend to try to put more into a day than what I really should. So I'm up at 4 o'clock my time. I'm usually not going to bed until 10 or so my time. So there are very few hours that I can't be reached. And luckily enough, in the fitness world, there's rarely ever an emergency that I can help with that needs to be communicated immediately. So usually a few hour turnaround is the worst of the delays. But again, that's all done through a centralized app. And within this app, I can program the workouts. I can
Yeah.
make sure that if you tell me that realistically, you're only
Awesome.
going to be able to work out 3 days a week, okay, let's program the 3 workouts. And you say you might only have 30 minutes to give, I can structure to that 30 minutes. If you're going 5 times a week and you've got an hour to give each time, I can build that too. It really is more important for the plan and for the program to fit in your life than to try to make you fit into it. A lot of these diet programs or the
Mm-hmm.
exercise programs, your P90Xs, your beach bodies,
Yep.
um,
Yep.
they're great and you can absolutely see results. And then as soon as you stop, you're going to see a lot of those things go away because it's all about the intense results right now. And the quick fixes, again, can be fantastic if you've got a deadline you're coming up on, or you really want to fit into this dress for the wedding you got coming up, whatever it might be. But is it sustainable? Are you doing it for the now or for the future? And so if we can make a program fit into your life, it just becomes a part of your life. It can become something you enjoy, something that feels more like a habit,
Yeah.
and you can keep doing it. You don't have to worry about giving up, your weekly game nights because you have to fit this in or whatever it might be. And on the nutrition side, I really focus on the similar flexibility. I don't believe cutting anything out of your diet is necessary or helpful. If you like having a beer every once in a while with the guys, or if you know that your weakness is cake, that was my wife's big thing. Chocolate cake is her thing. So, every once in a while she
We
wants to
all
do
have
that.
something. Yep.
Exactly. And cutting something like that out that you love, again, like those other exercise trends, can be fantastic in the here and now. But then you're gonna want it again. You're gonna crave it. You're gonna overdo it. Everything's gonna come back around. And a lot of those diet plans really instill an all or nothing mindset where if you fall off one day or you go over calories one day or you eat something you said you weren't going to, you're going carb free and you had pasta
Yep.
because you went out.
Yep.
It feels like a failure at that point, and people don't want to start over. So then they give up, which it's common. It is something in our brains that tells us starting was hard. Why do I want to start over? So what I focus on is, again, making this fit your life. Maybe your goal is to put on a little bit of weight and muscle. We can really calculate what your body needs for that purpose. If you are looking to lose fat, okay, what rate are we looking to lose at? Let's really calculate your specific needs on that. And then if it turns out that you need 2,200 calories in a day instead of 2,000, like everybody bases everything off of, then I don't care how you get that 2,200. It can be 2,200 calories of apples. It could be 2,200 calories of Oreos.
Love it.
Let's just
Well, a
make
little
it
of
fit
each.
within your goals.
Yes. Yes.
Yes, that's right.
Do you find what is the biggest trouble when it comes to, we won't call it dieting, but losing weight? Is it those temptations, those cravings? As an expert in the field, what are some commonalities that people, watching, listening today can relate to that everyone goes through in this? Can you give a little insight to that?
Yeah,
Thank you.
absolutely. And you use the right word. It's the craving.
Yes.
And I am not immune myself. And a lot of times, if I just don't have something near me, I'm okay. I can absolutely be craving that bowl of ice cream. But if it's not in the house, I'm not going to go get it. If it's in the house, it's probably going to get eaten. And I'm okay with that. I've had, again, other dieting experiences with, here's the weight loss supplement, or you follow our meal plan and everything's going to be great. So they say. But again, it cuts out the things that you like, the things that you love or crave. And by cutting those things out, you want them more. It's just like when you were a kid, if your parent tells you you can't do something, now you want to do it, and you're going to find a way. And so by not demonizing any food or any ingredient and understanding that we're going to have access to all of it and schedules might not permit making a full meal. I work with a lot of people that enjoy their fast food, and that's okay. There's no need to feel like you failed on that. We can still make it fit your life. One of the things I'm currently working on building is actually kind of a fast food guide, not just order this, order that, and avoid this, but really finding the places that allow you to track your food better. Chick-fil-A is actually a really good example. Not endorsed or anything, but who doesn't love a good chicken place?
I just had a salad
website,
from there yesterday, by the way. So again, I don't know if
there
you're going
you
to tell me it's
go.
good or bad, but tell me. I mean, I have little kids. I have 8 and
I
10-year-olds, so they like McDonald's. They like those things, and I'm guilty too.
Yeah.
Is Chick-fil-A a little better or no? What are you about to say? I'm curious.
So I won't say guilty. I won't say no. I won't say good. I won't say bad. Again, I try really hard not to demonize any food. There are times where I've got a 3-year-old and a 7-year-old. There are times we end up at McDonald's or Dairy Queen, and that's just what it is. But what Chick-fil-A does well, what a couple places do just as well, or maybe close, is if you're specifically looking to hit a protein goal, you can actually plug in on Chick-fil-A's nutrition calculator. This is the salad I got, but I made this substitution and I didn't have this and I had extra that.
I didn't
And
get
it
the
will build it
bacon.
in
I
real
didn't get the
time.
cheese. I didn't know that exists because,
Precisely.
oh, okay.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Uh, Chick-fil-A is one that I think does a fantastic job. Chipotle is another one that I personally love because anything that even resembles Mexican food is a-okay in my book. And it's quick, it's easy, it's relatively affordable, and sometimes that's what fits in the schedule. Chipotle's, the reason I like them so much is when you build your meal the way that you would want it and you see your calorie, protein, fats, carbs breakdown, their site allows you to click order now and it orders it exactly the way that you built it from that screen. You don't have to remember what you clicked on, what you excluded, and then go make that order to make sure that it lines up. So I'm working on creating a document that really points people in the right direction. Not saying you need to go to this place or you need to order it this way, like a lot of those food guides do, but saying if you're going to use these places, they have great resources to make this fit for you.
Amazing. 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 Thank you so much for that. All right. And let me just ask, just your opinion, your thoughts, out there today, besides working out, working hard, eating better, there's also these things called weight loss drugs. I don't know the names of them, but I know there's a whole bunch out there on the market. How does that go hand in hand, or do you not believe in that being in the field you're in? Because, what works for everyone may not work for someone, but just your thoughts on that, because I hear a lot of people doing these shots that are helping them lose weight along with the exercise, along with the diet.
Yeah, absolutely. And I apologize if it was very well seen. There was a minor eye roll there when you talked about the weight loss drugs and everything, and there shouldn't have been. Some of these things do work, at least to an extent, and I'll kind of circle back to that. But you mentioned doing it in conjunction with the diet and
Like
the
Oprah
exercise.
Winfrey, I'm sorry, because people gave her such a hard time about losing her weight. How'd she do it, this and that? And she finally came out and admitted, I'm excited. I'm taking a drug. She won't say which one it is though.
Yeah.
But people gave her, she got so much slack for it. Now she's looking great. She's fit. She's this, she's that. But
Mm-hmm.
she found something that works for her. So I'm not against it at all. My girlfriend's been taking it. She lost
Absolutely.
30 pounds. But I roll my eyes because the perception of some people out there who may think that's bad. I don't, but you could have your own opinion about it. But being in
Yeah.
your field, I'm sure, are you working with clients that are actually using this as well in conjunction to losing weight and eating better?
Yeah. So I'm not working with anybody currently on these drugs. Totally worthwhile. It's not
Yeah.
something I would ever, because of my scope of work, I don't
Yeah.
prescribe anything. I don't
Of
even prescribe
course.
meal plans. I'm not a dietitian, but I
Mm-hmm.
can help kind of get you where you're going.
Yep.
And some of those things do work. I've got other people in my life that I know that have taken the Ozempic shots, or they've been on this fat burning pill. And ultimately, any of the diet drugs you find. The shot is a little bit different, and it does change a little bit of body chemistry. It works with you in a way that does provide more results, and they're very tangible. You can see that these people have lost the weight.
Yep.
The drugs, a lot of time, if you're taking the extra fat burning pills or the thermogenics like that, a lot of times you don't see the results right away. And it's because in the supplement world, they aren't regulated the same way by the FDA that our food is. So they can essentially make any claim they want. And as long as they're not selling you something physically that they are telling you they're not, then they're okay. If you're going to go into any supplements, I don't recommend any of the ones that claim to be fat burners. There's a lot of science behind it, but in short, they don't do what they say they'll do, or the ingredients that they use are in such low doses that maybe this ingredient would help your body chemistry, but if it's not a clinical dose, it's just there. It's not doing anything. But if you're looking into supplements at all, my biggest suggestion, whether it's a claim I agree with or not, is look to see if the brand is third-party tested. None of these companies have to be tested, but if they are, that is a voluntary test that the company is choosing to pay for, and it has an independent party looking into what they're putting on the label, what's actually in the container. So whether it does or does not hold up their claims isn't evaluated, but you're putting in your body what you are. You know, it's a really big thing, and it was an even bigger thing 5-10 years ago with competitive athletes. A lot of these substances ended up having banned substances, and they would end up with positive drug tests, and then they weren't able to compete and were banned for 3 to 5 years. You want to make sure you know what you're putting in your body. It's really the end all be all. Even if you can't pronounce it, it can be something you don't understand, but know that it is what it says it is.
Beautiful. All right. Well, we have just 2 more minutes left in the show. How did you kind of want to sum up today a little bit about, why someone out there listening today should maybe reach out? Do you offer like an initial consultation to someone? How does the process work to work with you?
Yeah, absolutely. So first and foremost, I can be reached either through the email address. It's just jeremydixonfitness@gmail.com, or through the Instagram, which is instagram.com/jeremydixonfitness, and try to keep it as simple as possible. And with either one of those, just reach out. Nothing specific has to be really said. We can start a dialogue that way. What I typically do is I will schedule a kind of introduction call. It allows me to learn more about who you are, your background, what you're wanting, and it gives me a chance to tell you who I am, my background, what I'm offering. And then at that point, I really give you the opportunity to see if you feel like we're a good fit, but it also gives me an opportunity to say, I don't think I'm the right person to help you, or I know I can get you where you're going. That way, nobody's really wasting their time. That call is totally free. Depending on how deep we get into conversation, it could be 20 minutes. I've had one of them last over an hour just because we really hit it off. So it's free. It's easy to get a hold of me. We can absolutely see what, if anything, I can do for you. And really, I hope people do. I hope they do reach out, or even just visit the Instagram and see kind of what I'm about. As far as why work with me, my biggest thing is the schedule flexibility and the virtual aspect of this.
Beautiful.
I am a father of 2. I've got a wife. I've got a desk job.
Beautiful.
I can still make it fit. I understand being busy. Let's work around that.
Beautifully said. Thank you so much. Pleasure really getting to know you today. And boy, I know it's a hard job out there, right? Being a parent, number one, and then supporting them, and then having all this. But you have a passion for this. It's clear. And hopefully we get to speak again. I would love to hear some of your client testimonials, and maybe even see some pictures before and after if we get to speak again for today. Unfortunately, though, we are out of time. But pleasure meeting you. And Jeremy Dixon, don't forget, reach out to him one more time. How can we contact you?
It's either jeremydixonfitness@gmail.com or Instagram /jeremydixonfitness. I'll throw it out there. First 3 people that say they found me on the podcast, I'll hook you guys up with a bit of a discount off of this.
Beautiful. Thank you so much, Jeremy. Have a fantastic day. Pleasure having you here. Okay.
You too, Jill. Thank you so much.
Bye-bye.
This is the Global Podcast Network, where executives and professionals connect, share, and inspire. Stay tuned for the conversations that drive success.